Hey, what is going on, guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys a different type of video, I guess. In today's video, I'm going to tell you a few ways that you can counter Skarner, because he's pretty much picked or banned in every single ranked game right now, and he's played quite a bit in normal games as well. So if you are having a hard time against Skarner, then hopefully these tips can help you improve your play against him. But before I start the video, I just want to hear your guys' opinion on what you think that Riot should do to nerf Skarner, because personally, I either think that they need to nerf his shrines or they need to nerf his E, because those are the two things that are making him like extremely OP right now. So I think that they should just completely take out the shrines, because it just gives him insane stats, it makes him an insane duelist in those shrines, and it just gives him so much map presence over the other junglers. So I think that they should just take those out of the game, or if they don't take the shrines out, I think they need to nerf his E somehow. Like, the E is just extremely broken in my opinion. It gives you like a 70% slow for like 2 seconds. Don't quote me on that, but it's some insane slow, and then you also get the stun after, and like, let's be honest, you're basically guaranteed to land the stun if you land the slow, as long as you don't get kited really hard. So you're basically guaranteed a stun and a slow every time you hit your E, which is just too strong, and they definitely need to do something to that. And it also doesn't look like Skarner is going to be nerfed anytime soon, because I took a look at the PBE on Surrender at 20, and the hotfixes went through, and the hotfixes are absolutely pathetic in my opinion. They were nerfs to his damage from his E, and there was also a nerf to the shield on his W, and some other little nerf, and that's really nothing at all, and I really think that they need to nerf him more than that. If they aren't going to nerf him more than that, then he's still going to be extremely OP, so I don't really think that, I don't see why you would put those hotfixes into the game when it's really not going to change how strong the champion is. But with that being said, let's get into the video. So there are a few champions in the game that counter Skarner pretty hard, one being Morgana, because Morgana is a great pick into Skarner. She's got her black shield, and she can put that on whoever Skarner is going to be attacking, and then the Skarner will not be able to use his ultimate on them, obviously. And her bind is also really good when he's just using his extremely strong movement speed to come towards you. You can just use your bind on him, and then he'll be stopped in his tracks. So look to pick up Morgana support or mid lane if you are against a Skarner. Another good champion to pick against him is Nasus for top lane, because Nasus's Wither is just extremely good against Skarner. He's really not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to be able to get to your back line, at least, if you do put your Wither on the Skarner. So look to play Nasus as well as another good counter. And Janna, Alistar, pretty much any strong or disengaged support or any strong disengaged champion is a great pick against him, because you just want to keep Skarner as far away from your AD carry or your mid laner as possible. And playing a support like Janna or Alistar or Morgana is going to help you do that the best. So definitely look to pick up those strong disengaged champions when you are playing against him. Another tip is going to be to make sure, if you're playing AD carry, buy a Quicksilver Sash against Skarner, because it's gonna be very useful. You're gonna be able to completely negate his ultimate, so I'd recommend buying that as your third item, maybe even your second item, if you are finding him to be quite a nuisance in team fights. If he's able to get his ultimate off on you every single time in a team fight, then definitely look to pick it up quicker than normal. But if you're playing support, I would recommend buying a Mikael's, because Mikael's also counters Skarner's ultimate. So those two items are very good against Skarner, and you should basically be buying them every single game if you are playing against him. You can also look to Invade Skarner if you're playing a strong early game jungler. Skarner is pretty much going to start blue every single game, at least that's where I've started every single game, and I assume that other Skarner players are going to start at blue as well. So you could look to go for an invade on his red buff, because he's going to most likely not be there, and then you can set him behind by going for a nice little invade if you are playing that strong early game jungler. And I would just recommend playing a strong early game jungler if you are going up against Skarner, because what you want to look to do against Skarner is try to counter gank him, because Skarner's always going to be looking for ganks in the early game because his ganks are just super strong. So depending on which of your lanes is pushing out, for example, if your top lane is pushing to the enemy team's tower and you're playing jungle, then look to go for a counter gank in top lane, sit in one of the top brushes and wait for Skarner to arrive. And then if you are playing that strong early game jungler, as long as your top laner is a pretty good early game top laner as well, then you can probably pull something on them. It's going to be pretty hard because Skarner does have a very strong early game, but if you do just look to go for a counter gank, then you can at least stop him from getting a kill on your enemy top laner, because if you show up there, then he's probably going to have to back off, or you're going to just be able to assist your top laner or assist your bot lane wherever he is ganking. So look to counter gank Skarner because it can be pretty effective. So those were a few of my tips for countering Skarner. He's still going to be a very strong pick even with these hotfixes going through, and even if you do play some of these champions and build like Mikhail's and Quicksilver Sash, he's still going to be a pretty strong pick. Although if you do play these champions, you're definitely going to have a better chance to win against Skarner. So look to use the champions I suggested, and also pick up the Mikhail's, buy the Quicksilver Sash, and look to invade or counter gank the Skarner in the early game. So that is all for the video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.